2020's been a rough year, but you know what I've been missing a lot lately? Going to shopping malls. Welcome back to another video, and in the chaos that has been 2020, we are now in the fall / getting into the winter of 2020, and it has been kind of a nightmare in many aspects, and going and doing things that you enjoy and kind of take for granted on a weekly or daily basis that you might want to do is going to the mall. And in this video, I'm going to share 5 things that I like about shopping malls. Now, going to the shopping malls today is not the same, obviously, as it was before the chaos of 2020, but there, depending on where you are in the country and in the world, you may have some limited access. Hopefully, it's in doing it in a safe way, but access to shopping malls. And now I'm going to share 5 things that I like about shopping malls. Number 1, I like shopping in stores. I really miss that aspect of things. Like everyone else, I've been doing a lot of online shopping, and while it's very convenient, it's not the same. You are missing a lot of the visceral, the audible, just the physical sensation of going to a mall and experiencing products firsthand in real life. It's just not the same. Obviously, in an extreme case, there are certain type of products, such as furniture, where you almost have to go in person to try them out, feel them out to see if you like them. But even things like certain electronics, like, if you're buying a computer or a laptop or something, or maybe an iPad, you want to hold it in your hand. You want to see how it feels, if it's the right size, if the keys on a laptop or a computer are good enough for you. There are things, even like the color of certain products, things don't look the same online in pictures as they do in real life at the mall. And these things are very important for people that just want to buy a product and not have to be returning it constantly. So going to the mall, seeing the products in person, experiencing them the way, we have been experiencing products for many, many years. Even if ultimately you do buy it online, it's very good, I think, to go and experience some of these products in person, whether it be clothing, electronics, furniture is, you want to make sure the chair is comfortable or the bed is comfortable. You want to make sure the pillows are firm enough or not. And I think there's only really one reliable, consistent way to do that, and that is to go in person. And shopping malls give you that environment where you can basically just experience many, many types of stores, all different kind of products right there in real life. That's a unique thing that is an advantage that shopping malls have that the online retailers, the online channels do not have. Now, obviously, in today's age, most, if not all retailers have online shopping channels as well as brick and mortar. And in some cases, the online channel retailers are, just going that route almost entirely, almost exclusively, not only because of what's going on in 2020, but just overall trends in the digital economy. But I will say again, shopping in stores is, in my opinion, cannot be replaced by online shopping. There's just some X factor, something about that experience that I think, if done correctly, maybe it's not going to be as prevalent or as popular as it was in the past, but I still think there's a place for the in-store shopping experiences in shopping malls. Number 2, I love the social environment that shopping malls provide. It's no mistake and no secret that, being inside a house, being locked up, having limited access to anything, being around people, is just not the same as it was before. You know, if you can't even be around a certain amount of people without having it be illegal. You know, it's not safe. Obviously, I understand that, but there's a psychological consequence to that. And I think people are obviously social beings, and we desire and really need that social level of interaction, even if it's just going to a shopping mall and being around people, regardless of whether you're talking to people or not. Just being around people and in a group of people, in a crowd, you know, I think that, you know, even just like people watching, sitting down and people watching, walking around the mall, that's an important element that you just don't get by just exclusively relying on and using online shopping. Obviously, safety first, and it's not, you know, you can't do that today the same way you could before, but it's still important to note that was one of the key advantages of shopping malls, is that social interaction. Again, you can't get that in the same way as online or at all. So it's completely different. It's an advantage, a unique characteristic of shopping malls, and I miss that, and I like that very much about shopping malls. Number 3, it's the food. Whether it's the restaurants, you know, you got a lot of variety of restaurants and even cafes, or even just the pop-up kiosks, the little kiosks that serve, you know, different desserts, treats, coffees, what have you. You know, there's a lot of diversity and a lot of variety of food and all different kind of cuisine at the mall that you just don't experience in everyday life. You know, for example, I'll, you know, speak for myself. There are things that I eat that I'll pretty much only eat at the mall. And an example of that would be stuff like, you know, a frozen yogurt. You know, I typically rarely will have that, you know, and during the course of a year, I might have that a few times. And most of those times that I do have it, from what I remember, it's been at the mall. And that's because you just get into a certain mood when you're at the mall and experiencing and being exposed to all of these different varieties of food. There are things that you do at the mall, like when you go to the movies, you eat popcorn. Well, you know, and you may not eat as much popcorn at home, but in the movies, you may always get popcorn. You know, there are things that you do in certain places. And I think the shopping mall food variety, the food offerings, the restaurants, the cafes, you know, having a cup of coffee in the mall, and just walking around or sitting in a bench somewhere, just relaxing somewhere in a cafe. That is, I think, you know, that is important to have. You know, it's important to experience that, you know, just having that, you know, food option that you don't get at home, you know, to experience new things that you don't normally do at home. I think that's important. And even on the other end, things that, you know, if you want to just have a full meal, you can't beat the restaurants and the variety of restaurants in certain malls. You know, if you have a mid to large size mall, the restaurants are great. You have a variety of restaurants. You know, many malls have, you know, very large, expansive food courts that have affordable and diverse dining options. Everything from, you know, Asian cuisine, you know, American, you know, burger cuisine to exotic cuisine, healthy cuisine like salad places, a lot of dessert places. So, you know, it runs the gamut, you know, a wide array of food choices available in the American shopping mall. Not only the food court, but the actual, you know, flagship restaurants like Cheesecake Factory, Outback Steakhouse. You have even like the very fancy steakhouses. You know, different malls have different ones that are just fine dining experiences. And I've been to a few that I can remember, like very nice steakhouses and seafood places at malls. And it's just a great experience where you could do everything at the mall, including have fine dining at either reasonable, affordable prices, or if you want to spend a little more and splurge, you can do so as well at the mall, because there's fine restaurants, very nice cafes, and it's just a great environment to try new foods or to experience home-cooked meals, that home-cooked meal environment at a great restaurant, whether it's trying a new dessert or just walking through the mall, seeing a chocolate store and going in there and trying a new candy bar, which I have done. I never have candy, but for some reason, when I'm in the mall, more often than not, if I see a nice chocolate store, I will go in there and just see what they have. I might come out of there, with something in my hand, trying it out, and it's a great experience. Great experience because these are foods and treats that I will not consume outside of the mall. I know it's psychological, but you know what? We're psychological creatures, and it's okay to feed that psychology, that spirit that we have by going and experiencing the different foods at the mall, and doing so affordably. You can still be healthy as long as you manage your portions, or if you just want to go out there and not think about it, you could have a great time and indulge as much as you want with the variety of food choices in the shopping malls. Number 4, entertainment. There's no secret that shopping malls are entertainment, hubs, from movie theaters to different shows and performances depending on the mall, all the way from holiday specific theming, just maybe even small concerts in the mall. Depending on the time of year, the season, you might have a band playing, you might have a famous just celebrity musical group playing, you might have a parade in a mall. I've seen that. There's a lot of entertainment that can be had in a mall, including the subtle entertainment of just roaming around the mall, looking at different things, window shopping, because when you're looking at all the products, all the stores, just looking at the beautiful way that some stores present merchandise and the experience that you get walking not only within the corridors of the mall, but inside the different stores, you can get a different ambiance walking from one store to another. You'll have different moods. One store may be a dark mood. One store may be a lighter, happier mood. Another store might have a Bahamian vacation type mood. Depending on what items they sell and what they want to provide, it's entertaining to say the least. And it's also entertaining to also experience the difference, not only visually looking at things, but also smelling the different things at a mall. You could smell, stores that have soap, stores that have perfume, stores that have different moisturizing lotions. These senses are entertained. All of your senses, your visual, your audibly from different music, and also to, just smelling different scents and aromas of the mall. You're almost, it's hard not to have fun at a mall unless you really just, have an attitude where you don't want to be around a lot of people and you don't like the shopping environment. But if you can kind of overlook that and kind of see that there's other aspects to a mall that people enjoy, I think you're gonna see that the mall has a lot of great things to offer. It's just a matter of, can you overlook just the shopping part of it? Because the entertainment aspect of a mall is there in a variety of ways. Don't overlook, if you want to have a good time, go to the mall. Go to the mall. There's arcades there sometimes. There's different stores that have in-store entertainment. There's just a lot of stuff you could do. Even if you just want to go to the movies, it's a one-stop environment to do a lot of entertaining things. So the shopping mall for entertainment, you can't beat it. And number 5, I'm going to mention it, but you know what? Going to the shopping mall and walking around, experiencing things, especially if it's a mid-size to large-size mall, if you spend a good amount of the day there walking around, moving around, and you control, your food a little bit, but still experimenting in different things, bottom line is, when you're moving around, you're exercising, you're walking, you're moving around the entire mall, parking somewhere, even if you have to park far away, because sometimes malls can get crowded. I don't know about these days, but even when they were crowded, you have to exercise, parking the car, walking to the mall, walking inside, and just spending the entire day walking. It's, the steps add up. I don't have one of those fitness watches, but I bet you if you're in the mall spending the entire day walking around, those steps are gonna add up, and that is a form of light exercise. So that's important too. So think about it, having all of the benefits of going to the mall, enjoying yourself, but at the same time, you're also exercising. Can't beat that. That's great. So guys, those are the 5 things I like about shopping malls. Hope you got something out of that, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.